What's up, guys? I'm back with another movie review. Today I'm here to talk about one from Severin Films, and it is Threads, as you can tell from that cover there. This one deals with nuclear war. This is a British made-for-TV production, and it takes us to Sheffield in England, and there's a huge looming threat of nuclear war because tensions between the United States and Russia continue to build, and we're kind of stuck in the middle of it with these people. They're being told how to kind of prepare and to kind of how to survive if something happens, but basically how much can you really do if you're poor, which most of these people seem like they're middle class or poor. What can you really do to prepare yourself for a nuclear blast? Anyway, the sirens go off, the bomb hits, most people are dead, some people survive. We're there as they scramble to survive. We're also there as they start to kind of slowly over time piece together a new society, kind of. And we're there for the whole thing. We're there before, during, and after the bombs. This is a very documentary feel. It has a narrator who's fantastic. He's super grave and serious. It's got title cards that kind of tell us hey, this is how many days after the bomb hit. These are the things that are going on. They don't have power. They don't have water. Food's in very short supply. Another thing that's kind of interesting is they were talking about they kind of brought up text bullet points on the difficulties of dealing with all the dead bodies and the problems that would cause. So that was kind of cool. When this movie works as a kind of a news program / documentary, when it's down in the trenches and people aren't speaking to each other or to the camera, but we're just experiencing the events along with the characters, it's insanely effective. It's dark, it's depressing, it feels real, but then the movie makes tragic mistakes and tries to interject this scripted drama into it, and the whole thing falls apart. Some of these performances are just god-awful. Just awful. It doesn't even seem like the people are trying. They're very ham-handed, over the top, and that realism just shatters. And then it drops the scripted drama and goes back to the documentary feel, and everything goes back to feeling real again. If they cut out all the scripted drama, which adds unnecessary and unintentional humor, which I think is funny, but a lot of people don't want that in a movie that's supposed to be serious like this, and stuck with the documentary stuff, I think this movie would have been a lot better. I can see how at the time, when people were really feeling the threat of it, that it was immediate to them, and a lot of people are trying to project their political views onto this movie now when it's being re-released by Severin in 2018. But it's not the same environment. It's not the same immediate threat is not being felt, no matter how badly people want to admit it. Nobody's making a movie like Threads now. They're making a movie like The Post, so I don't think people are really that concerned about it. People are terrified to watch this. They said they had to watch it in groups because it was so scary. I'm talking about now. It's not that scary. It's not even that intense. It's honestly pretty slow at times. Yes, a nuclear attack would suck. This movie doesn't do anything, though, that other movies haven't done. It is able to capture that in-the-moment feel better than a lot of those other movies, but a lot of those other movies are able to do the scripted drama better because it's complete garbage here in Threads. So you have a distinct divide between documentary stuff, fantastic, scripted drama, absolute trash. Somewhere in the middle there is where Threads ends up, and I want to make it clear. I think Threads is well made. I think it tells a great story. I think when it hits that atmosphere of being real and in the moment, it's fantastic. But the scripted drama is so bad, it brings down the whole movie. Time has definitely not been super kind to it. I'm sure back then it was easier to overlook it, but now it's just kind of cheesy. And also, I just think there's been certain expectations as far as the movie's reputation building over the years. If you're expecting a dark, soul-crushing experience, unless you're just a pure empath, you're not going to feel that here because it's just not that intense. It's not that dramatic. The middle section when the bombs first drop is pretty intense. After that, it just kind of becomes a generic post-apocalyptic movie. But if you're an empath, you're not going to want to watch a movie like Threads anyway. I just think it's a lot of people projecting their political beliefs onto the movie, and that's not fair to the movie, and it's not fair to the movie's reputation. I think Threads, again, well-made movie. Sometimes it's excellently made. I'm extremely happy that Severin revisited it. Their Blu-ray has just a beautiful new 2K scan. This movie is supposed to look like a documentary. It's supposed to look gritty. It's supposed to have texture. What this transfer does, and admittedly, I've only seen it on a PAL DVD, so I'm not an expert on how the movie should look, but, I mean, from everything that I've read, that's what it's supposed to look like. This transfer is able to add detail, it's able to add clarity, but it keeps that, gritty documentary look to it, and I think that's crucial for making Threads an effective movie. It's also got an audio commentary track, a bunch of interviews, trailers. Most of this stuff is first-hand accounts from the people who were directly involved with the movie, except for one interview. But everything else is people who actually worked on the movie, so it's really valuable, really insightful, first-hand tales from the production. Threads, overall, I can't really give it a strong recommendation because it's kind of slow and it can be kind of boring at times, but I do think it's an important movie, and it certainly is an interesting curio for the time that it shocked people so badly. But keep in mind that at one time people were terrified that a train on the screen would come through the screen and kill them. So I don't think Threads is as impactful, as a lot of people say it is. It's not as dark, depressing, and soul-crushing as people say, but it's still a well-made movie, and it's worth a look if you're interested in nuclear and post-apocalyptic cinema. That's my review of Threads. If you want to read a full write-up, you can go to my website, markfusion.com, to check that out. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Letterboxd, and Patreon at Mark Fusion. If you like these videos, please do drop a sub. And if anybody, I hope you guys can see that, like, the other reviewers who are going to talk about their political beliefs and project them onto there, I don't think that has any place in a movie review. I think we need to look at the movie in the scope of its time, and you can say that, like, yeah, it's relevant because we're always under the threat of nuclear attack, but I hope you understand why I didn't want to put my political views into it, because I'm a movie critic, I'm not a political speaker. So as a movie, Threads is solid, and that's about as far as I would go with it. It's definitely worth seeing if you're interested. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Hopefully I'll see you again soon.